Hi and welcome back to the Positive Prepper. So this video is going to have two components. The first one is the title. Like, we are at World War III. It's already here. We need to call it for what it is. We have Ukraine, Iran, Russia, China, India, Israel, Lebanon, and the US, at the very least, participating in one way or another in all of these wars going on around the world. These are not skirmishes. They're not fighting, right? They are actually at war. So we need to start calling it what it is. Under this administration, of course, this is what they want because they make a lot of money from it. In that one of the last videos that I did, I talked about the ammunition factory in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Okay, it is what it is. We are in a world war. We may not be fighting directly, although we did help Israel defend itself when Iran shot all of those missiles the other night. But whether it's money, weapons, or troops, globally, there are a lot of countries fighting each other. It is a world war, and we need to start calling it what it is. Just want to put that out there. This next part, and I want to throw this in here before I get to the next part, is that, of course, our hearts and prayers go out to everybody that was affected by this latest hurricane. Massive, massive destruction, massive loss of life. I was reading about one factory that 5 or 6 people of their employees died because they kept them working until it was too late. And I think there was 11 that went out, and I think 6 were rescued, and 5 perished. It's just, the whole thing is heartbreaking. And I do not want to see one more cent of our money given to any foreign country or any illegal alien until all of the impacted areas by the hurricane have been rebuilt. That's how you take care of America first. Okay, we don't need to be sending money to Ukraine. We're paying for their retirement funds. That's BS. That money needs to be going to these states: South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, that have all been impacted by all of this. Rebuild that couple that they were laying in bed. It was an elderly couple. They were laying in bed and their noses were darn near touching the ceiling when they were finally able to get rescued. Rebuild their house. Stop giving our money to foreign countries and to illegal aliens until our American citizens are taken care of. Not 1 cent should go anywhere else until all the recovery is done in these impacted areas. That's just my opinion. Strong one, I know, but that's who I am. So the last part of this video that I want to do is I'm going to kind of go gender specific on this one. I am going to be talking mainly to females in this video, just because of our typical gender roles. So let me set this up a little bit. So back in 2001, I had lost my husband. He had passed away. And so I was a single mom for 8 years. Okay, I got remarried in 2009. And during that time, I couldn't afford to call a repair person. I couldn't, if something broke, I had to fix it. Okay. I had put lights and a ceiling fan in my ceiling, plumbing issues, all that kind of stuff. Kept my mower going. I would take my vehicle in and have it repaired if something needed to be repaired. But then since I got remarried in 2009, I rely a lot on my husband to do those things. It's kind of that gender thing, right? So this brought up some thoughts in my head that as a female, right, and I work outside the home. I'm a substitute teacher. You guys know that. My husband works from home, but he's also away quite a bit because of his job. And I got to thinking about SHTF. So let's say that we're in SHTF and my husband got injured and I need to go out and cut wood. The only chainsaw that I have available for me that I can actually start is an electric chainsaw. Okay? Let's pretend the power grid's down. And I have tried to start his chainsaw. There are not, and I've tried several, not just his. Several makes, several models. They are hard as heck for me to get started. I don't know if y'all have that same problem. Chainsaws were built for men. They were not built for women. If anybody knows of a chainsaw that's an easy pull, I can start my trimmer, my push mower, my rototiller. I can do all of that, no problem. The chainsaw is where I have an issue. I wish that they would make chainsaws that women can use. But I'm going to get to my point here in a second. So if my husband was injured and I had to go cut wood, there's no way I could use his chainsaw. If the power grid is down, I can't drag out trees or big branches, right, and use my handsaw. I could go out in the woods and handsaw them up. It's going to take 5 times the time, but I could do it. But it would be super, super nice if they had something available that was much easier for women to use. But let's go beyond that, okay? So I knew how to change the blades on my lawnmower. I knew how to, check the fluids, obviously put gas in it, put oil in it. My zero turn needed grease, right? I knew how to put grease in my windmill. I knew how to do all of that. But when I got remarried, it was kind of like that was his job. And so, okay, honey, the sink is leaking in the pavilion. Can you get in there and fix it? And I kind of stepped back from doing the things that I should have kept doing all along. But trying to stay in that gender role, well, okay, this is the husband's job, right? What I'm saying to you women right now, and to myself, because I'm guilty of it, is we need to get back to, if you're not there already, which many of you might be, but we need to get back into getting that hands-on experience with it. So, small engine repair. Would you know how to fix the lawnmower, fix the chainsaw, fix, if the motor went out on the generator, would you know what to look for, right? Would you know what to do? Do you know how to use different tools? I can build just about anything. I can use any power tool. I know what they are. I know what they're for. I love working with wood. You know, that is my strong suit, is that I do know how to build. Okay, I know how to build walls, any of that stuff. I can do that. But do you know how to use all these different tools? So let's say that, again, the power grid goes down. What do you have in your arsenal of tools that would help you cut the lumber? Would you know what to do, what to use, how to do it? Okay. Basic electrical and wiring. So let's say that the power grid is still on, but you're having to build that chicken coop, right? Because you've expanded your flock and you have to get the heat lamps out to the chicken coop. Would you know how to basically wire that? You know, I know how to put in ceiling fans and ceiling lights. I can do that. But how to run wiring from a circuit breaker? I wouldn't know how to do that. So these are all the things that I'm talking about right now are things that I am going to learn like in the next 2 weeks. Because I didn't realize until I started thinking about this how much I had relied on my husband to be able to do all of this. I need to be able to rely on myself if he gets injured or worse, right? I want to be able to fill in those gaps. The other thing is hunting. And I was talking to my 13-year-old about this. So let's say that my husband is, you know, again, injured or sick or whatever, and I have to go out and hunt. Well, y'all know already from watching my videos, it's going to be really hard for me to shoot animals. I dodge caterpillars. Woolly bears are all over up here, and I dodge them. But if I had to, if my family needed that food, I'm going to go out and hunt. I know that I could do it if I needed to. But let's say that I shot a nice big 12-point buck. My husband, who is well over 6 feet tall, I am not, could easily drag that deer out of the woods and skin it and, you know, cut it up, quarter it, right? And then we bring it in, we process it. Would I be able to do that? You know, I could probably make some kind of a pull system to drag it home. And then I'd have to figure out how to pull it up to hang it. And then I'd have to figure out how to be strong enough to skin it and quarter it. And I'm sure I could figure it out. If I had to take one piece at a time, it's getting it out of the woods. Would you know how to do that? As a female, are you strong enough? Do you have the capabilities to think outside the box? How do you solve that problem? And I'm not putting this as women are stupid. Please don't take it that way. What I'm saying is a lot of times we rely on men to do this. And we have to build ourselves up as women to be able to do a lot of this ourselves. Because in an SHTF, all of these jobs are going to require everybody to not only know how to do it, but have the ability to do it. Okay. The next one is, again, basic plumbing. You know, we have our outdoor pavilion, and it's got a full kitchen, right? Freezer, fridge, hot water, sink, TV, surround sound, the whole 9. And when I notice a leak behind the sink, I'm like, okay, honey, there's a leak behind the sink in the pavilion. Can you go fix it? Yep, I'll get on it, you know. And he goes out and fixes it. Why am I doing that? Because I'm putting it on him as the male to go fix the plumbing issue. Where I should be at least learning or relearning the basics of plumbing. So let's say that in our mag group, all the guys have gone out and they're, I don't know, maybe they're all out hunting, and we get a leak, a bad leak. Can't just wrap towels around it. It needs to be fixed. There's only women here. We need to know how to fix that. You need to know how to fix that. You can't call a plumber. You can't call an electrician. You can't call an automotive tech. You're not going to have YouTube. You're not going to have Google, right? These are skills that we as women need to reintroduce ourselves to. I'll put it that way. Okay? Weapons. So, I am very comfortable with my 9mm. Very comfortable. Okay? And I know what bullets go in what guns, and I know pretty much what to look for, what to do, right? Some of them I'm not as familiar with. Would you as a woman be able to fire, load, fire, maintain different weapons? Again, this tends to be a guy thing. And I don't like putting that gender thing on there, but it's reality, right? So these are all skills that we as women really need to get back into understanding and learning. We learned small engines back in high school, and maybe we've done it sporadically throughout our lives. But if you're not doing it on a regular basis, would you know how to clean a carburetor or clean the air filter in a small engine? Would you know if it needed mixed gas or regular gas? Okay. So I want to bring this up. We have to have our gender roles. That's what separates us, not only biologically, but socially, right? We are the homemakers, the caretakers, the nurturers. We can't say that our husbands are the breadwinners, because in most families, both parents have to be the breadwinners. That's how you survive. But in all of these other areas, it's very natural for women to just be like, okay, honey, here's your to-do list. If my husband handed me a to-do list, I don't think that would go over very well, right? But we have no problem writing them a to-do list. So we need to get back into, especially with the threat of an SHTF coming on, like at any given moment, we need to get back into being able to get our hands dirty, see what our capabilities are, refine those skills that I'm sure at some point in our lives we had, and maybe building those up even beyond what we had before, because we're going to have to rely on each other, men and women. We are going to have to rely on each other in an SHTF, and there can't be that gender separation anymore. Okay? So that's what I want to do as far as the prepping piece of this. So if you know how to do all of that stuff, kudos to you. I'm sure I could figure it out. I'm pretty intelligent. Electrical, I'd probably have to do a little bit more research on. I could probably do it again if I had to. But for the next couple of weeks, it's fall. We're getting things put away for the winter. I am really going to be focused on relearning what I know, but also building on those skills. Okay? For the end of this video, I want to just give a chuckle out there. So you've been hearing that there's been a lot of panic buying. I've been watching a couple of different prepper channels tonight, and they're saying how, the toilet paper is already gone because of this strike over on the East Coast. It's already done. Like, they're going back to work. They've put it off now till I think January 15th. This is why I don't come right out with these videos. Oh my gosh, the world's going to end. They're doing this strike. Start buying up a bunch of stuff now. That's why I don't do that. Because usually within 3-4 days, you have a better idea of what direction that's headed. So if you've already went out and panic bought, hey, that's on you. Not judging you. But I kind of giggle a little bit because once again, you know, the toilet paper shortage of 2020 is happening again, and it didn't need to. And all that does is up the prices for when you actually need it. So I just want to throw that out there. That's why I don't come on here for every single thing that happens, like with Israel and Iran. Well, Israel has not struck back at Iran, and Iran's strike at Israel was really pretty minimal. Okay, so I don't panic at these things. I step back, pull that lens back, and I look at everything from the wider perspective, like what's really going on. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate the new subscribers. Please hit that like button. It's really important. Hit that like button so that other people get this video. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you to all of you that have been here with me for a very long time. I appreciate all of you very much. So stay safe, stay vigilant, and God bless.